Waqf properties were meant to be sacred, donated by Muslims for the welfare of the poor, for religious and educational causes. But what the Waqf has actually become today is nothing short of $1 billion land mafia masquerading as a charity. With over 9.4 lakh acres under their name, Waqf boards are now the third largest landowners in India, just behind the railways and defense. But unlike those institutions, Waqf is not about nation building. It has become about self-enrichment, deception, and unchecked power. This is not just mismanagement, mind you. It is systemic loot, enabled for decades by a political class too obsessed with Muslim vote bank appeasement to ever call it out. The Congress and its ecosystem used Waqf as a tool to signal support to the Muslim community while doing absolutely nothing to reform it or ensure that Muslims actually benefited from it. Waqf boards have run amok with their land claims, turning into India's most aggressive land encroachers. From mosques and dargahs to mandirs, villages, railway stations, and even government buildings, nothing is spared. All it takes is a declaration. Once a Waqf, always a Waqf. And the property is theirs. No courts, no justice, no public say, nothing. So many cases, so many infamous cases like the one in Tamil Nadu where an entire Hindu village and temple was declared Waqf without the villagers' knowledge. Selling their own land became illegal without an NOC from the Waqf board. And this isn't an anomaly, it's a pattern. The following properties have either been claimed, eyed or targeted by the Waqf over the years. Shri Ram Janmabhoomi Mandir, Ayodhya. Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi, Mathura. Kashi Vishwanath Mandir, Varanasi, Somnath Mandir, Bhojshala Mandir, Rameshwaram Temple Corridor, Delhi ka Pragati Maidan, 6 mandirs in Delhi, and so many other claims. Is this religious administration or land conquests? We'd fail to understand. Now let's talk about how other countries handle their Waqf properties. Let's take Turkey for instance. After the fall of the Ottoman Empire, the Turkish government nationalized all Waqf assets, bringing them under state control. The state is the custodian of these assets and uses them for public welfare, ensuring accountability and transparency. Everything is properly documented, and the state ensures that the properties are used for the good of the people, not to line the pockets of corrupt officials. In Malaysia, Waqf lands are managed by state religious councils, and their success is evident. They've developed commercial complexes, hospitals, and universities on Waqf land, generating revenue for social welfare. Unlike India, where Waqf lands are still left idle or squatted upon, Malaysia ensures that these assets are used to benefit the community, not exploited. And now, of course, Pakistan's Waqf laws have been amended regionally. The Punjab Waqf Properties Ordinance 1979 saw minor updates for administrative efficiency, while the West Pakistan Waqf Properties Ordinance 1959 was amended in 1961 to expand state control. Bangladesh's Waqf's Ordinance 1962 has been amended multiple times. Key updates in 1988, 1998 and significantly in 2013 via the Waqf Transfer and Development of Properties Special Provisions Act, enhancing penalties and administrative powers. If Islamic countries can amend their Waqf laws to curtail Waqf board powers in order to regulate them, why is it such a problem when India does it? Despite owning land worth billions, Waqf boards generate a laughable 163 crore annually. Where does the rest go? Into a black hole of corruption. Between 2001 and 2012, Waqf officials in Karnataka were accused of misappropriating rupees 2 lakh crore worth of property, land leased out for peanuts, often to insiders and political allies. And to make things worse, Waqf boards are the judge, jury, and executioner in their own matters. Once a property is claimed Waqf, it can only be contested in a Waqf tribunal, staffed by the same ecosystem of insiders. No outside scrutiny, no fair hearing, no justice. If Islamic countries can reform their Waqf systems for accountability, why is India, a secular democracy, scared to even question it? Let's be blunt. The Waqf system in India hasn't helped the Muslim community. It has exploited them. While the poor were told that these lands were for their upliftment, power brokers used them to fill their own pockets. The Congress and the opposition parties, in their obsession with performative secularism, allowed this scam to fester. This was never about religion. It was about creating a parallel state within the state, with its own land, its own laws, and zero accountability. This is exactly why the Waqf Amendment Bill 2025 could be the final nail in this corrupt system's coffin. For the first time, it actually seeks to end the Waqf board's unilateral power to declare land as a Waqf, bring in the district collectors and external authorities to verify its claims over a land, and ensure land cannot be grabbed behind closed doors in the name of religion. Of course, the usual suspects will oppose this. But the time for mollycoddling is over. The Waqf system is entering its final stages, not because it fulfilled its purpose, but because its abuse has become impossible to ignore. Had it not been for decades of political cowardice, this day would have come much earlier. The Congress and opposition parties, obsessed with tokenism, kept the scam alive while the Muslim community remained stuck in poverty and illusion. This is not just the death knell of a corrupt institution, but for those who milked it dry, misused religion for personal gain, and kept the Muslim community in the dark. It's time for some real reform. It's time to put an end to this fraud. And most of all, it's time to return Waqf to the people it was supposed to serve. It's over, Waqf board.